changed the way they did anniversary polls purely for Jodie Whittaker because she would be at the bottom. So I would love, and honestly, something I want to think about the least of all in the world is Jodie Whittaker's bottom, right? Literally the inverse of sexy, the least sexy person ever, right? But her stories were also such relentless garbage, right? Such relentlessly badly written garbage, which leads me to this video, which I find perfect, right? I find absolutely perfect. Where is this? Where is it? Not that one, not that one, not that one. There we go. This is, the guy will introduce it for himself.
Impression of how the Doctor Who episode about 9/11.
So, we'll come back. What's his name again? TikTok Millie Gainted. Okay, whoever he is.
Of the Doctor Who episode about 9/11 would have happened under Chris Chibnall.
And this is stunningly accurate. This guy knows his stuff.
Oh my God, we're in New York City. And it's September the 11th, 2001. Oh my God.
But Doctor, isn't that the date of the 9/11 terror attacks?
That's right. The September 11th attacks were one of the biggest terrorist attacks in history and sparked a global backlash that led towards...
Okay, he's doing it better than she does, right? And it's still shit.
A war in the Middle East. Oh, Doc, I don't know about all this Al-Qaeda stuff. Al-Qaeda used to be the Mujahideen fighters. Lovely guy, Rambo. Played checkers with him once.
But Doctor...
I mean, it's like, honestly, this era could have been written quite easily by AI, right? And a very, very easily trained AI, right? Just say, gives a few details and like a silly personal anecdote, right? And it sounds like Jodie Whittaker.
Surely we can just stop the planes now. No, because if we stop it, then the Daleks will come through the portal that the Twin Towers are opening, and we can't let that happen.
But Doctor, there's still so much terror now in the UK and abroad.
That's right, Ryan, and it's awful. But we can't change history.
Just don't make me fly the plane, Doc. I can't fly the plane. Don't make me fly the plane.
Graham, you're going to have to.
It is exactly correct, and it's just a shit.
But Doctor, as I said, there's...
I mean, the other drawback is this turgid piece of shit would have been dragged out for 45 minutes.
Still so much terror. How could we have done anything?
Let me show you something. Look, as a result of what we did, background checks and safety checks and security checks in airports across the world have increased. Guys, we did something special.
You made life shitty for everybody forever.
And maybe it doesn't feel right, but we did.
That's what I think would happen. I can't think of Yas's.
You don't need to, yeah, she'll just look on mooning. Yeah, so yes, with that context, now we just remind ourselves the awfulness of Jodie Whittaker. Let's do a deep dive. So the number one story I actually agree with is The Power of the Doctor. This is the best story they did in their reign because it had the least Jodie Whittaker and the most of other Doctor Who that I'm interested in seeing. Right, it was absolutely it was an absolutely awful era. The minimizing Jodie Whittaker was the way to go. Now, I find this one relentlessly perplexing. How is the haunting of Villa Dildo so highly respected? It's such shit, right? I understand Future of the Jadoon. I mean, like, if you buy into the conceit of it, you go, "Oh, interesting," but like, you have to buy into the conceit. You know, most people don't. But Haunting of Villa Didiate, it's so boring, right? It's a story about Byron and Shelley, and it's just dull, right? It is just dull with the lone Cyberman. It's just has cool elements and is dull. I mean, look at this right here, right? This is everything that's wrong with the this era of Doctor Who. Let me zoom in. Can I zoom in anymore? No, that's a shame. Like these nondescript alien pieces of shit. I don't know. So, weirdly, Haunting of Villa Dildo, number 2. A turgid piece of shit that is. Future of the Jadoon. I understand you're introducing the future Doctor, and, you know, the people who like Jodie Whittaker are very obsessed with identity, and they like the idea of there being a black female Doctor, right? That clearly comes before Hartnell. Rosa, well, again, this is something that your press gang into liking, otherwise you're an evil racist. No, this is critical race theory made into an episode. You know, the thing about it that nobody understood, like, why would the civil rights movement not happen if Rosa Parks hadn't refused to get up from her seat, right? Why would that not have happened in the next few thousand years, right? That is critical race theory. The idea that white people are always oppressors and black people are always the oppressed, and there's nothing you can do about it other than being racist, right, against white people, essentially. And yeah, most of the episode, every white was presented as just being demonically evil, right? They tried to do the same thing with Demons of the Punjab, where I knew nothing about the partition of India. It taught me nothing about the partition of India, other than the person who wrote it had brown skin, and he blamed people with white skin for the violence, even though it was one group of people with brown skin massacring another group of people with brown skin. But he blamed the people with white skin for not keeping those two groups apart. It seems to me, and that's what I took out of the episode, right? Love is love. Love. Oh, lovey love. Love it all it is. Oh, love. It all its forms. Oh, she was shit. Oh, relentlessly shit. Relentlessly shit. Spyfall, again, when Spyfall came around, I was optimistic. I was like, maybe they're going to get it right this year. What a schmuck I was. I thought maybe that first season 10 was just them screwing up. No. So Spyfall, they had like a lot of big budget stuff. It was a definite improvement from the previous season, but still boring, derivative shit, right? That completely relied on gimmicks and actors' charisma, right? A better story that nearly overcame its awful script was Eve of the Daleks. So I would put Eve of the Daleks as their number 2 story throughout the whole of the run. Just because I found it reasonably inventive. Yes, you had creepy stalker Nick, who was keeping mementos from the women that he killed and eaten, obviously. But I thought the direction was... Oh, and you had the Dalek that couldn't open a storage room door. Oh, how'd you write this so bad? And also you had the Chris Chibnall trope they ripped off from Doctor Who and the Daleks movie, where they get Daleks to shoot at each other and they duck. As number 7. Okay, whatever. Woman Who Fell to Earth at number 8. Well, that's before it was clear how absolutely awful this era was going to be. That didn't really come. I don't think anybody realized how awful this era was going to be until we got to Arachnids in the UK. Resolution. Oh, God. Yes. Shit. Again, they're very intent on having a female Dalek. And basically this weird reinvention of the Daleks that they refought. Oh, God, that was just it. And they explained it by it being a reconnaissance Dalek. Nikolai Tesla's Night of Terror, right? Oh God, Night of Boredom. So intensely, like, try getting through that whole episode. It was like that little clip of what Jodie would be at a 9/11. It was like, keep up. Oh, I'm Nikolai Tesla. Nikolai Tesla, he's the father. Oh, look, there's what's that? Who they brought in a woman, of course, as well. She's the mother of computers. Oh. Witchfinders, I still kind of think could have been a good story under a decent showrunner. Under this one, it was just boring virtual signaling. Whereas, like, oh, I keep thought there's a justice being done. Woman's being drowned as a witch. Let me go. Now, that they make Flux into one entry, I think they're ripping Jodie off, frankly. Flux had some... One second. Let's look at Doctor Who Flux. Doctor Who Flux, because this is actually the second best thing they ever did. Where is it? So Halloween Apocalypse, it didn't make any sense, right? It didn't make any sense whatsoever. It was just like throwing lots of things against the wall But it moved quick enough that I think it fooled people into feeling like an episode, right? And I think this is this was a cut above most of the ones they've shown so far. Same with War of the Sontarans, where what's it called again? The cliffhanger. They had a good cliffhanger as well at the end of the first one. I like that the cold opening to War of the Sontarans, the cinematography is excellent. TARDIS looked beautiful when it had no door. Great. It was really, really, really well shot. James Magnus-Stone did an excellent job. It was started to introduce Vinder, I think, on that one for no apparent reason. Then you had Once Upon Time, which was there was a good cliffhanger as well, but resolved really badly. Right? Once Upon Time, that was when they're when you have the flashback and it's the fugitive doctor is the doctor's now a big black woman with a big gun, and it's boring. Village of the Angels again. This is like to make the normies think they've watched Doctor Who, right? That's really what it was. What's his name's performance was pretty good. Jellicoe, I quite liked him. I like Carvanestra as well. Survivors of the Flux. By this point, everything has fallen apart, right? For the last two episodes, everything had really fallen apart. And the plot was just like going in all different directions and a total failure. But like up until then, you know, they actually had something decent going, right? And it just at the end of the season, most of the universe had been destroyed, and nothing was resolved. I'm like, okay. But I think like putting it together, I think they're doing it an injustice. It Takes You Away is shit beyond shit. Fuck me. How shit is that? This is the one where they find an abandoned blind child, where the father is pissed off to a parallel dimension, where you've got to fly through a scary tunnel of bats and weird shit to get to, where there's a space frog that made it, and everything's nice there. But, you know, Delinquent Dad, it was just like made no sense. Again, boring and made no sense. Revolution of the Dalek, that should have been higher up, right? That was actually a kind of silly, fun episode. Anything that had the guy from Sex and the City, he was good. I understand he's a Donald Trump clone, right? I still thought he was like his natural charisma came through. Kablam! A weird episode, kind of praising Amazon and hating them at the same time. So here is a real definition of failure for this era, right? This is, I would say, a stark definition of failure. Essential the Cyberman Timeless Children. Towards the bottom, it's in the bottom third, right? This is their definitive episode, right? And it's right at the bottom. It's below Kablam. Yeah, and like now, like you just really get the shit episodes that you know after they all are, but like we all agree with that. Like this defining episode of Doctor Who, right at the bottom with those awful flying Cyberman heads. However, the Cyberman design I found to be excellent. It just these and the idea of the Cyberlords I thought was good as well, but the whole execution is just shit. Oh, so super shit. Oh, I hate it. Can you hear me? I hate it even more. That with Wet Willie, the finger bandit. Yeah, he finger bangs the people who his victims. It's very terrible. About mental health. And this is the one where how many episodes in we find out Yaz has mental health issues. Wait a second. We'll go to season 12. Piece of shit. So yeah, Can You Hear Me is what episode? Episode 7, right? We are 17 episodes into Yaz, and we find out that she nearly killed herself because she's got bullied because she was a Muslim in Yorkshire. Really? That's like being bullied for being a Jew in Israel, you dumb cunt. And like, really, if I throw a stick in Yorkshire, I'm probably going to hit a Muslim, right? That's just what Yorkshire looks like, baby. Ghost Monument, I would have put higher, right? I actually kind of thought that was another one, right, where I thought this might not be awful. I was still trying to convince myself it wasn't terrible yet. Praxia's, no one convinced you it wasn't terrible. All about having the completely unbelievable gay lovers and pollution, everything. Everything is a finger wagging lecture, right? That is the entirety of this era. Beyond all their woke virtual signaling bollocks, everything is a finger wagging lecture. No less so than Arachnids in the UK, where the Doctor is the least heroic you could possibly imagine, and lets the spiders die horribly by asphyxiation because she's fucking useless, right? She is fucking useless, this Doctor. Oh, God help us. So the Sarunga Conundrum. So apparently there was supposed to be a sequel to that with lots of tings. Really, they were shit. Nobody liked them. Fuck off. Go away. Right? Chris, you should know this. About many of them, they were shit. They were a terrible monster. Nobody liked them. Fuck off and go away. Right? That's what I would recommend. Legend of the Sea Devils. Well, apparently they had a budget for 8 episodes and they were told to make 9 episodes out of it. One of those being a Sea Devil one, and that's to rewrite the Christmas special to be the cheap what was it called again? Even the Dalek, which again I thought was one of their best episodes. The shit because it had Jodie in it, but still one of the best episodes. And then Legend of the Sea Devils just was paper thin and nothing there at all. Speaking of which, the Battle of Ranskor Ab Kolos, their big season finale. Chibnall said it was the first draft. How'd you only had 10 episodes to write, you dumb cunt. How'd you let that go? So the other people were there. Well, really? Who's helping you with yours? Why didn't you hire Paul Cornell, who was begging to suck your dick, right? Begging to suck your dick, and you didn't hire him. No, dumb, just dumb. Because he could write. And then right at the bottom, the episode where I would have left Doctor Who had I not been for this channel, and I was reporting on it. All from 55. I mean, look, even the monster looks embarrassingly bad, right? You can wreck planets or you can save them. This is what happens to Earth if you don't stop your pollution and turn over to communism and multinational corporations and let them buy up all your land. Yes, I understand I'm only benefiting multinational corporations, but it makes me feel good about myself. Oh, Icky Thump, and you don't want to be a dreg. Oh, I mean, listen, how did these monsters even get approved? They are shit. Like, you just look at this and go, how? Like how? It's absolutely beyond me, right? I mean, like, okay, it's one thing for the writing and the acting to be bad, right? But the monster design, normally speaking, it was quite good, right? Cyber design, excellent. Dalek set, excellent. But did they? What was the one where she was in prison? I think that was Revolution of the Daleks. Blimey. Like, so all their big episodes really did badly. What did everyone love? The one without Jodie Whittaker. Power of the Doctor. Let's see them talk their way out of this shit. As we reach the 13th Doctor era, we notice there's a lot fewer people voting. Yes, yeah, so you picked up on that, did you, darling? That's incredible. There's a sense of mystery about the result, as her last few specials fell outside the remit of our most recent season survey. Well, you got one episode everybody liked, which had David Tennant in it, and Sylvester McCoy, and Peter Davison, and Janet Fielding, and Sophie Aldred, and Sacha Dhawan, and not much Doctor, right? And one episode, and the other ones they all hated because they were shit. It was the anti-Jodie episode, right? So again, no wonder it got number one. Sitting pretty at the top of the list. I bet they got like 80% of the votes, right? Featuring a surprise appearance from former doctors and companions, as well as the Master Dalek Sidemen. The centenary special had all the ingredients of an anniversary get together, and they masked the terrible writing that is the signature of Chimmel. Yeah, look, another reason why Flux got screwed over. What's his name? I mean, it looks stupid, but the villain, what's it called? I can't remember what the bloody name of the villain is called. What's the Swarm, right? So I think, again, looks like a refugee from Terrorhawks, but the actor played him very well, right? So we're into 5 Doctors, 3 Doctors, Dare the Doctor, all of which close on the top of their respective eras. Those occasions tend to go down well. Well, again, that's what it was hiding behind. The Doctor Who 300 TV adventure claiming the honor of the honors in this category. The race for the second and third place was fiercely contested. Yeah, again, by stories that nobody really cared about, right? Nobody really cared about. Listen, I'm finding this draining, ladies and gentlemen. I'm finding this draining. You know, you don't want to see a rabbi drained. Let me tell you. A rabbi drained, they tend to sleep for a good 16 to 24 hours, and it's good for all of us, right? So I need some kind of energy boost, which I didn't think was coming, right? I didn't think it was coming at all. Much like what happens just before a rabbi is drained, let me tell you. So who on earth could possibly boost the energy? It's the one. It's the only. It's Birmingham's king of the geeks. It's Dan Hadley. How you doing, Dan?
Hey, I'm sorry. I can only bring you moral support. I've just got out the gym. That's why I look. Well, I look Fuchs because I am Fuchs.
Listen, it's not doesn't come easy being the donors that you are.
The donus. Oh, it's a matter of trying to stay ahead of the game, mate. I'm not getting any younger. But yes, I can't bring as much energy as I would like. But when I saw what you were talking about, I can't leave a mate to wade through all that S on his own. At least be here at the finishing line.
There is so much of it. I know it is just unbelievably awful. Right.
What possessed you to relive all this trauma of 29 episodes of unmitigated crap?
You know when you have a like a bad tooth and you want to poke it with your tongue? Same sort of thing.
Yes.
And listen, I am not optimistic about Rusty Davis' return right now. Not optimistic whatsoever.
Yes.
I think it's good to know like what bull crappery we're coming from before we look into the bull crappy that we're going to. By the way, you don't think what's that recent announcement? You don't think that Redacted has anything to do with Rusty Davis? Do you think he's pro or see? It just seems to be on brand for him.
Well, it's not. It's the fact of the matter is that Redacted was commissioned by BBC Studios. No, excuse me, by BBC Sounds from BBC Studios when they expanded their real push into podcasts, which was around 18 months ago. So it's a commission that is completely separate from. So BBC Studios are involved in making it, but only in the same way that they're involved in making the original audiobooks or anything like that. So it's a commission for an outside body. It's nothing to do with Bad Wolf, nothing to do with Russell T Davies, nothing to do with any of that. That being said, this does worry me for the future because Russell T Davies is bringing writers through, isn't he? He intends to remain with Doctor Who for an extended period of time and grow the next generation of talent. Russell is not involved at all with Redacted in any way, neither is Bad Wolf or anybody, but Russell is a big advocate and a supporter of the lead writer Juno Dawson and a personal friend
who writes like these dodgy pedo books, apparently.
Yes, Juno Dawson, who has a very sketchy past, all sorts of things which I won't go into on your channel. That wouldn't be fair. But this person, I mean, obviously people change. I know they do, and everybody can make a mistake.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like they changed at all, and they're very proud of what they've done. You see, this is my problem, right? How on earth does Rusty Davis sign on to run Doctor Who and not have control over stopping brand damaging things like Redacted because it's very low quality and Doomsday. Like, how do you sign up for it? I'm coming from a period of incredibly low quality where everybody hated it, right? And probably including
Well, when was the original series of Redacted on? Was it around a year, 18 months ago?
around there, yeah.
It was when they launched the podcasts thing, when they had that big push, wasn't it? So it was probably written before or around the time, just before or around the time that he took his seat. And for all we know, people were already paid. And we know what the BBC do.
They should have shelved it. They should have. This is brand damage.
I would have done too. But the BBC, we know what they do. When every time they've got a new thing, a new arm to launch, they always lean on Doctor Who fans and the Doctor Who IP to support it. When they launched BBC Choice, they had a whole weekend of Doctor Who with specially commissioned this and that and the other. They always do it, and it was the same with that app. If they could get Doctor Who on the BBC Sport app, they probably would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having said that, you're right. I can't see why Russell, who's got all the power that Mal Young had 20 years ago, he could stamp his fist down on some of this, particularly now. And from what I understand, and again, this is something I've heard from multiple sources, Russell T Davies was not pleased at all with Doomsday. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, but that being said, this was recorded in June and July, right? Yeah. It's like this was well after he should have had the ability to just cancel this garbage.
In the instance of Doomsday, bear in mind the general audience have no idea that Big Finish exists. The audio books of Doctor Who are a thing, really. Doomsday will have no effect on the greater brand. It'll just piss off the fans.
Yeah, I guess so.
With Redacted, we've got more of a problem because a lot of people use those BBC apps. So if you go to the BBC app, I want to listen to a podcast. I've got the BBC. I've already paid for this stuff. I'll say, there's a Doctor Who thing there. People are more likely to hear Doctor Who Redacted than anything else.
The first 2 episodes of it. Here's the thing. So Redacted is trans propaganda, showing you how trans people are stunning and brave.
Clearly. Very clearly.
The major drawback is the trans people it's focused on are awful narcissists who I hate. Right? These characters are just terrible, terrible people.
Well, the 5 minutes that I heard was atrocious. The acting, the writing, and I listen to a lot. You do too. I listen to a lot of audio drama.
I
always have
2 hours of Redacted. Right? I really did. Till they got a community strike for.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah,
not touching that again.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they got the 6th anniversary pullout. The number 2 story, which I find baffling, is the haunting of Villa Dildo.
Yeah,
it's just like it was so boring. It was you had like the Lone Cybermen, which looked good. You had Siberium. You had James Shelley. You had Frankenstein. You had all that stuff going on. And it was still boring, right? It was unbelievably dull. It's the number 1 story was Power of the Doctor because Jodie Whittaker wasn't in it much, and all the other Doctors were, right? It's like it was much more fun.
Where was Village of the Angels?
That was reasonably low down. Let's have a look. That was.
I can tell you why I think they voted. People voted for the haunting of could they put all
the flux together, which I thought wasn't fair, quite frankly.
No, it's pathetic.
The first 4 episodes of the Flux were not good, right? But they were better than most of these stories, right? They're good cliffhangers, bad cliffhanger resolution. The
Sontaran one almost held together as a piece of drama.
Didn't want to shove a fist up your ass instead of watching it.
Yeah. But in the case of, the reason why I think Villa Diodati is up there is because, and I think people have voted for it simply, almost subliminally, and probably not really known why. It's because it's the only one of most of those episodes that's got any atmosphere, that's got any flavour of anything at all. It's all artificial, obviously. There's nothing particularly there to support it. The characterisation is a joke, considering the gifts that they got with Mary Shelley and Lord Byron. Then they do nothing with it or them. But it has flavour, because I think the woman who directed it was, whoever directed that did a bloody no, I'm not going to say bloody good. Did a decent job of evoking something.
I say the same thing about even the Daleks, right? Even though it's shit, it was strongly directed. But here, this is the biggest.
I'll tell you why as well. I'll tell you why people are voting for Fugitive of the Jadoon. That's the tiny proportion of Jodie Whittaker fans who are doing that out of spite, because that thing is a piece of crap from beginning to end.
Yeah, but I can understand that because it's law changing. People like law changing thing. If you're in this realm,
if you're a moron, if you're a complete and utter moron.
But like one of the biggest indictments of this era is, at these lists you have the shit episodes at the bottom where everybody hated, right? So at the very bottom of the of the second tier, before you get that, you have Timeless Children, right? That should have been number one. If this era was in any way successful, that should have been number one.
Of course.
And it wasn't. By the way, and I like the villain, Swarm. Right, I thought he was well played. He looks a bit like a refugee from Terrorhawks, but other than that, stronger performance than Jodie Whittaker. But yeah, didn't get a lot looking.
Isn't everybody a stronger performance than Jodie Whittaker?
It's a low bar, isn't it? But which is why the Power of the Doctor did well, right?
Yes.
Anyway, let's
because she's hardly in the damn thing.
Exactly. That's exactly correct. So take your silver polish, given that it is only finished in fourth in our 2020 season survey behind Fugitive of the June, Spyfall, and Ascension of Timeless Children. So it's like now people will put Timeless Children number one when it came out because they felt they had to. Now it's settled a bit. They go, no, it's shit. It races past all three this time, with Fugitive taking the bronze position, securing its own place in the grand finale. How? Okay, so the bottom stories in the grand finale are going to be Fugitive of the Jadoon and Haunting of Villa Dildo, right? Just missing out the top three was Rosa. We find Rosa. Rosa is a story you vote for out of obligation, so you don't feel like you're a racist. No, you are a racist if you like Rosa, right? That's And the same thing with Demons of the Punjab. The highest placed entry from Jodie Whittaker's first season, the highly regarded story, yes, so tonight a very special episode of Doctor Who, won the 2018 season survey out of guilt, right? Because everything else was shit, including that. So it's strong showing. It falls behind Demons of the Punjab, also shit, also the same reason. Witchfinders, and It Takes You Away. Takes You Away was high up on this list. Where was that?
It's astonishing having these read back, because obviously Rosa was the last time anybody was really engaged with Doctor Who at all. Demons of the Punjab at the time. I was dating a Hindu girl at the time, and she watched that with me, and she couldn't believe how bad it was. You've got all these flashbacks I get to various episodes. Of course, there was what's it called? The one with it. What's the one with the guy who gives you the wet willy? I'll never forget that.
It Takes You Away. That's the one where 17 episodes into Yaz's arc, we find out that she was bullied near to suicide because she was a Muslim in Yorkshire. Really? That was one where Sarah Graham from Type 40 messaged me, because I was out. By that time, I was watching the episodes 3 or 4 days later after they were broadcast, and she texted me to say, just don't bother. This is like an insult to the intelligence. And I forgot, It Takes You Away. That has the Graham cancer bit. Really? It said, I feel a bit socially awkward.
That's the one.
Fuck me.
And it's had the mental health thing at the end. If you've been affected by anything,
my mental health has been affected by this.
Been affected by you. I've been affected by your terrible writing, production value.
I was fine beforehand. Now I want to shoot myself. What was I going to say? So there's a 2-hour podcast with Chris Chibnall. I cannot listen to it, and I'm waiting for articles from it. If you know we will.
Well, you get the two most boring podcasters in the world to interview the most boring creative in the history of Doctor Who. Then what are you going to? People are surprised that interview is boring. Have you ever read Chris Chibnall's production notes column?
Oh God, not without falling asleep. In fact, if you do have insomnia, Chris Chibnall can indeed,
and if you wonder why I broke my rule about never talking about other content creators, those two fuckers talk about me. So why shouldn't I talk about them?
They're not even on my radar, right? I don't even know their names.
They've gone out of their way to say stuff about me, so I'm going to say stuff about them.
It's always jealousy, right? It's always jealousy. That's the only reason anybody talks about any other content creators, because they're jealous of you, right? No other reason. But one little thing that I did get from that, somebody told me that the Sunangra conundrum is they were supposed to do a sequel to that with many things, but like, why do you think this was a successful in any way? Like, how anybody looks at this era and goes, "Oh yeah, he totally wasn't fired. He totally meant to stop all his story arcs halfway through with no resolution." Yeah. That's 100% what he meant to do. Don't be a smart. Of course he didn't. He was anyone
who's got two brain cells to rub together can see this. It's and it's, you can see that section of fandom, and they're dwindling by the week. Even now, some of them are still hanging in there, and you can see them
still hanging in there and getting enraged when anybody says, "Oh yeah, that was awful."
Because they validate one another, don't they? Sit there nodding to one another. Yes, he was wrong about that, wasn't he? Yes, he was definitely wrong. Because Chris Chibnall said this, didn't he? Yes, he did say that. Even though none of it makes any sense at all. It's like they're forming their own little web. They're enabling one another. And it's and in some cases they're adults, Rabbi. They're adults, not children.
Well, they're adults that never grew up. I think it's a fair way of describing it. But let's read what they've got to say at the bottom of the list. As we scan down the list, it's interesting to note the relative positions of the 3 New Year Day specials, all of which feature the Daleks. The last of these, Even the Daleks, is clearly the most popular. It was the best one, by far, right? By far, and the cheapest one, right? And so I was explaining earlier, you probably heard this, that they were given budget for 8 episodes and told they had to produce 9 with it. So their original plan for the Christmas special or the New Year special fell through, and they did the much cheaper Even the Daleks, and it worked out a lot better.
Well, yes. This is, I suppose that's an obstacle that Doctor Who creatives used to have, didn't they? All through the classic show in particular, necessity driving invention.
Horror and Frank Rock. Horror and Frank Rock is what you do when you don't have money, right? Great script, great actors, great story, right? And also you got Leela managed to get rid of her contact lenses. Good for her, right? At the end of it.
Yeah.
So even though it's the most popular, it's the best one. Resolution is quite some way ahead of its sequel, Revolution of the Dalek. Oh fuck me! I like Revolution of the Dalek better, even though it was awful. Which finishes mid-table.
Yeah, it's shockingly bad. I mean, it's again, I just can't muster up anything positive to say about any of this stuff.
I actually found some positive stuff. I went over with Power of the Dalek. I like the Cyberman design. I like the Sontaran design. I like the Dalek ship design. That was actually pretty good as well. I didn't like the new Dalek. That looked like shit. But what can you do? Okay, exactly mid-table, however, is the 6-chapter epic Flux, which finishes 12th place out of 24. Like the 6 Doctors, 70 season spanning Trial of the Time Lord, which was ranked 4 out of his 8 stories. I don't think it's fair putting either of those together. Flux is ostensibly made up of shorter adventures which weren't rated individually. Well, none of them make sense. That's the thing. Flux is, I just went over it earlier. You had Halloween Apocalypse. It threw a lot of stuff on the screen. Didn't make any sense, but made you feel like you saw an episode of Doctor Who because it just moved really, really quickly. Right? Then you had War of the Sontarans, which kind of held together nearly. Once Upon a Time is where it all started to fall apart. Village of the Angels, they pulled it back together. And again, we're able to do a facsimile of Doctor Who. Then Survivors of the Flux and Vanquishers, forget it. Nobody understood them and nobody cared. essentially, right? I think it's the
I think that's more than fair. In fact, I think that's quite generous.
I think it was.
considering what we're talking about. I mean, taking the piss out of the Jodie Whittaker era does seem a little bit like mocking a three-legged dog or something like that. Or it's do you see what I'm saying?
Listen. Look, Dan. There's something you should know about me, right? I once went on, a CG UK podcast, right? Comicsgate UK, and you had to tell them the worst thing you ever did, right? And they said the worst thing you ever did. You had to guess which channel it was, right? So one of the worst things they ever did was I read a headline in the paper that man arrested for raping handicapped people, right? And I giggled. That was, I just thought that wasn't sporting, right? That was like, oh yeah, you should try. If you're gonna rape somebody, at least give them a chance to run away, right? No, I think that was just wrong. So anyway, I will laugh at I will laugh at the afflicted. That does happen.
And that was on the Comicsgate thing.
Yes. So yes, exactly. The Flux is essentially made of short stories. Replicants, again, to a certain extent, received the highest overall score of Whittaker's 3 seasons. So that's it for now. We have 37 finalists. Yeah, these 3 are nobody's going to see them ever. All-time favorite. No doubt there's some very strong contenders for every Doctor, not for this one. It's over to you. Fuck off. Fuck off. All right, let's read their apologetic. Richard Unwin, never even heard of him. Let's see their apologetics for these top 3 stories, and the bottom ones, which are even better. Arguably, The Haunting of Villa Dildo was the first installment of a 3-part adventure. The other 2 nobody liked. Essential Simon and Climax with Timeless Child. I would not call the Timeless Child a climax, right? I will call it a rather disappointing ending, right? It was maybe. If that's the case, then Future Zune is the prologue to that trilogy. Yes, and they're all shit, right? They're blimey. This guy is putting.
He's got more reach than Reed Richards, isn't he? This bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Matt Smith, they're trying to get him to play Reed Richards.
Yeah, I'll be down for that.
I'm like, right, Matt, stay away. Okay, do not touch that with a barge pole.
Yeah, fair enough.
Our third place story is Masterpiece of Misdirection. Well, this can't be a Jodie Whittaker story. Surrendering its secret. What?
Well, I was going to say, in case you hadn't heard, I've heard this from other sources that the reason why, because I couldn't believe it, that they're casting comics appropriate for the Fantastic Four. They've got the other girl from The Crown, who's in the Fast and Furious, Vanessa Kirby and Matt Smith. And the other people playing the other parts as well, they sound good too. And you think, okay, well, this doesn't sound like modern Marvel. And then you realise that they have said that the Reed isn't going to be the leader of the team anymore. Sue will be the leader of the Fantastic Four. She's going to be
off. Okay, the reason Marvel movies worked is because they were comic accurate, right? It was the first time we had comic accurate movies, more so than the Tim Burton Batman, right, and Richard Donner's Superman. But although I mean, Chris Reeve,
it's enough that it's a marriage that should be enough to depict that well, to depict that appropriately and nicely, and to show why those 2 people are together, and that they do sometimes get on each other's tits. But the word is that Vanessa Kirby will lead that film, not Matt Smith. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
Beyond dumb. But here's what they should do. They should do Fantastic Four, and they basically reboot the Marvel universe. Do Fantastic Four and X-Men set in the 1960s, right? And have them both set in the 1960s, and then have a third movie that moves them into current day somehow, right?
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I think they should. I mean, potentially you could have a situation where the Fantastic Four have been frozen in the negative zone. I think if they were like Adam Adamant Lives, maybe, but they were from the early 60s. So you end up with all 4 of them have 60s values and attitudes, 60s fashions even, and they're 60s heroes living in the 21st century. I think that could be fun. It'd also preserve the original interpretation of the characters. But
and they might actually be able to resurrect the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? They say that Deadpool 3 is going to be some kind of multiverse thing setting it up. But like, why? Okay. Look, I tell you, at some point you just got to look and say, we fucked up so much, we just got to scrub it all, right? Just get rid of all of this.
To be honest, I wouldn't even bother with some sort of big on-screen retcon. They should just draw a line under all the crap, fire all the people that have got them into this mess, and just make one bloody good movie with no extraneous bits and pieces waggling in the air, with no connective tissue. Just treat it like you did that first Iron Man movie with the Fantastic Four, and just knock people off the ground with a solid action adventure film for the whole family, and then people I must say they'd flock back to Disney Marvel, but it would be a statement of intent. I don't need some great big prolonged apology. I just want to be able to confidently put down a tenner to get into a C film that I've got a fair chance of enjoying.
Cinema. There is no point whatsoever going to cinema, because like the last movie I went to see at cinema was Mission Impossible, which was a disappointment, and I really wanted to like it. Right, I'm still going to see the next one, but the next movie I would have seen in cinema is Doom, but they pushed it off till next year because, like, here's the thing: you don't need anybody to promote it. Okay, you don't need. Firstly, forget anybody going on Jimmy Kimmel to promote your piece of shit movie. Nobody cares. You want people to go on Joe Rogan, right? That's your the way now, but they don't have control over that, so they don't. That's why they don't do it. But like they're worried that the Marvels is going to do badly because Brie Larson can't promote it. No, the Marvels will do badly because it's shit. Oh man, and which is why they're keeping it when it is, I think. 5. So let's see. Third place is a masterpiece in misdirection. What's the third place one? Pre-broadcast promotion focus on the thrilling return of Jadoon. So the surprise appearance of Captain Jack came as a massive shock to viewers. Not really.
No, we all knew about it.
Yeah, exactly. And like he didn't look quite as immortal. You know, his waistline. And then they just took a shit on him, right? Totally after he literally saved their asses with their he caused rating bumps in both his appearance. And then because he was caught up in the Noel Clarke scandal, which turned out not to be real at all. They cancelled him, and he's more cancelled now than Noel Clarke, right? It's unbelievable. Like, I can't believe there's no loyalty. What a shit they took on John Barrowman. But the reveal itself was just a warm-up for the even bigger bombshell, hitherto unknown incarnation of the Doctor. Shit! Oh, okay, you probably don't remember it, right? That you had this scene where the Doctor's like digging at a grave. Oh, if you thought, what could it be? And it's the TARDIS, right? But then they want to go inside the TARDIS. They realize they can't go in there because it's still buried. It was like, why can't you just sit and think for a little bit? Maybe it was like, there's bricked up behind the wall, and she's like got a pickaxe and she's opening going by, like tearing down the wall, right? And then they could have just walked into it. No, they had to teleport into the TARDIS because they're fucking morons, right? They're fucking morons. They can't sit down and think for a fucking second. Oh, and this is a number 3 story, right? This is their number 3. It's shocking. And like, Dr. Ruth, she did not look comfortable at all in that costume. She didn't look like the Doctor. Great TARDIS set. I like the traditional TARDIS set, but like Joe Martin, oh, fuck me. While Adventure Revelation of the Timeless Child are proved controversial with fans, so controversial, they then hid and forgot about it forever, right? It's like, there's no denying that people found a lot to love in the mysterious build-up. No, again, this is all a conjuring trick to make you feel like you've seen a story, right? Like, ooh, something's going to happen. It had more of a vibe of Dark Mirror than Black Mirror.
Dark Mirror, or the very worst elements of the J.J. Abrams show Lost, which I'm a bit of an apologist for because I enjoyed watching that thing.
I like Lost as well.
But I think if it's got a major flaw that runs through the entire thing is that they do exactly the same thing. They pick up ideas and sort of toss them around a little bit, but never actually commit to any of them or explore any of them in a rounded way.
Right.
Sorry about that. That's my phone ring. I'll go and answer that in a minute.
If you want, you can go.
One second. Sorry, guys.
Whoop, there you go. Fine. Taking second place is A Haunting of Villa Dildo, for some unknown reason, is a ghost story that morphs into something else. Appropriately, for an adventure that sees a doctor and her friends meet Mary Shelley. Oh, you're back. The woman who helped invent science fiction while writing horror. Tells her this type can be a risk, petering out when eventually the curtain is raised to expose the science behind the supernatural. Yeah, no, this was shit, right? Absolute shit. Let me see. Mary Shelley. Have you ever seen the Paul McGann Mary Shelley stories?
Yes, they're three of my favourite. That trilogy of audios, I don't think they've ever done anything better than that.
And like, why on earth they didn't just release them? Yeah, Paul McGann, that's fine.
In particular, actually, all three of them, but particularly the Silver Turk, was fantastic.
Yes, I agree with you. So this was
The Witch in the Well.
This was like
brilliant.
Yeah, this was like the second reboot, right? This was we had The Company of Friends. That was the first one.
It's when they started putting him in the mix, wasn't it? With the cycles of three that they used to do.
Right. So this was must be around here somewhere. 1 second. Although you got the Lucy Miller stuff, which is freaking awesome. Where is it? Is it after this?
God, this seems like an age ago now, doesn't it? There they are.
Yeah,
there they are.
Yeah, 1 second. So you got So honestly, the one I would recommend to check it out is $10. It's A Company of Friends. So this is 4 individual stories. You got Paul McGann with Bernie Summerfield with what's this called again? Fitz. Oh man, Fitz from the books. Fitz was a great little companion. They had him played by the guy from EastEnders.
Yeah, Matt D'Angelo, who played.
Perfect casting. Really worked. Izzy from the comic strips, and also Mary's story. Jonathan Morris. 1816, the Villa of Dildiotti. So much better, right? So much freaking better.
Oh, it was way, way better than that stupid Jodie story. Yeah.
And then you got this trilogy. These are overpriced. This should be $20 for all 3, right? They need to put everything in box sets. Like, this is overpriced. I'm sorry. $20 for all 3. You'll sell.
I think when you're looking at content that's been on release for over a decade, I think having them sat there at that price point is just silly.
But look, Big Finish's value is in their content. They need to do a streaming service. So all this is better than Haunting of Villa Dildo, which is again ripping off Big Finish badly. It tells us that can be a risk petering out when it petered out instantly, and eventually curtains raised. But here the reveal is partially the partially converted Cyberman is a superb surprise that only adds to the thrills. It would be good if they in any way followed through with it, but they didn't. Right? The design of the Lone Cyberman, excellent. Right? The story behind him, piece of shit. It's a real shame. Ashdad reconnects with his race of blood-curdling horror in a way that hasn't really been done since the Metal Man climbed out the tombs of Tellus in 1967. Well, I think the last Capaldi one was very good in the body horror stakes. The author of Frankenstein meeting and being created from a fusion of technology and flesh, who's seen to gain life from lightning, is pure Doctor Who black magic, but done so badly. Oh, it's such a rip-off of everything that is Doctor Who. It's also as close as the era gets to gothic horror movie mashups stitched together by Hinchcliffe and Holmes, but again, don't even mention them in the same sentence, right? So so here, let's see what they've got to say about Power of the Doctor, because she's not in it. It's no great surprise to find the Power of the Doctor tops the poll for the 13th, because she's not in it, right? It's one of the most high sucrose, full-fat, ultra-processed servings of Doctor Who ever dished up. It makes no sense at all, and we don't just love filling our faces with it. Well, again, no, not really. I'm looking forward to the 5 Doctors. That's coming out next week, isn't it?
Yes. Well, the 18th is still the date on Amazon. I have heard some people say it's been pushed on to the 25th, but
I'll be a bummer. I am looking forward to that. I'm hoping for the apocalypse this week, but if not, I'll be very happy that it comes out. Old doctors, old companions, and master, and as Rasputin, Jessica never the Rasputin dance. The Daleks and the Cybermen. It's been a good 10 months since broadcast now, and some are still coming down. No one's coming down from the sugar rush. You are bonkers, Mac bonkers, darling. There's definitely a more balanced and nutritious installments to be found in this era. No, but the sheer delight, the pick and mix, and the chaos offered here has proved impossible to beat. Again, she's not in it. That's why it does well, because she's not in it. It works as a joyful celebration of 13th Doctor, and also a birthday cake for the BBC. With a beautifully shot regeneration on top. Well, cherry on top. Well, it was beautiful because they had David Tennant in it. Now they're gonna defend Orphan 55. Orphan 55 was the lowest rated story, lower even than the Battle of Ranscott of Kolos, which Chibnall said was a first draft. Right? Like how? How are you a professional writer and you do a first draft? What?
People, when people, I make the statement that Chris Chibnall is the worst showrunner in the world of dramatic television. People say, how can you say this? Because of choices like that. What a massive prick. That was the season finale as well of his inaugural run on one of the BBC's biggest brands, an international intellectual property. And he let a first draft close out the first season.
Unbelievable. And like, what took him so long? Why? What's the time difference between his first episode and his last? Hang on, let's have a look.
To admit that publicly, that man should not work in television again.
Yeah, I agree. So it was 7th of October 2018 was his first episode. And Twice Upon a Time was okay. You had 10 months, right? Plus out whatever lead time you had to. Like you knew you had this job like for about a year and a half. How'd you let it's 10 episodes, you lazy cunt? What the fuck is wrong with you? Sit down and do your fucking work. Oh God, no. I'm going to have Jodie Whittaker and I'm going to have the first female Doctor. And also, I have a black doing the music. I'm such a good person. And that's how he sees it, right? I'm sure in there, like, I find liberals to be the most racist people in the world.
Oh, they absolutely are. Anybody who calls themselves anti-fascist is 9 times out of 10 a fascist. Anybody who calls themselves, the Anti-Defamatory League, they go around defaming people. We live in this crazy inside-out world. What's going on?
Man. Again, I'm hoping for the apocalypse, baby. I'm hoping for the apocalypse. Poor old Orphan 55. Maybe it's a very worthy ecological message. No, stop waving your fucking idiot finger at me. You can save planets or you can wreck them. You can save TV shows or you can wreck them and take a big shit on them like us. Pity! Fuck off. It's deemed a little too heavy-handed by many. Really, you notice? What about the Muppet character you got here? But there's still plenty to enjoy. Nothing whatsoever in the exclusive spa resort, including one of the most successful monster designs in Chibnall era. What the fuck? This is a successful monster design? I've had shit that look like better fucking monsters, you retard. And that is an insult to retarded people. I apologize, I didn't mean to compare retarded people to people who worked on the Chris Chibnall era. Clearly, you are a superior breed in every way. You have my apologies.
You know what? I think that Battle of Ranscore, as much as I hate Orphan 55, I actually think that the Battle of Ranscore of Kolos is worse.
Orphan 55 is worse because Battle of Ranscore of Kolos is merely deeply incompetent, right, and hateful to religion. This is also lecturing shit on top of everything.
There is that.
And you got like the Ryan sucking his fingers. By the way, I'm going to show you something after this, which you're going to love. No, not the lice lady with the cat makeup and tail. God, that was awful. When we can also thank this episode, one of the most quotable lines ever in Doctor Who. All together now, Benny! God, it was awful.
Yeah.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.